So there'll be a moment for joking in a minute, but I need you to be genuine with me for a second. And I'm going to break the rules a little bit because I'm going to start this episode with 2 questions.
That seems
actually
unfair.
It's going to be a number of questions. You would consider me your friend, right?
Only on
No,
weekends.
genuine.
Yes.
Okay. One of your best friends.
You're up there. Sure. I got a lot of people. I'm one of those people that would have a lot of best friends.
Sure.
Yeah,
but like
you're in the group.
I'm in the circle of trust.
You're in the club.
And it would take presumably quite a lot to change that.
Yeah. This new format's been pushing it with all the horror you made me watch.
Before I ask you the question, I want to tell you genuinely, probably more genuinely than I can ever remember saying to you, I am really sorry.
Okay.
Like, I feel bad about what's going to happen to you. But have you ever seen the 2013 remake of Evil Dead?
No.
I'm so sorry. So, Evil Dead.
Deja vu.
This is our 3rd time.
You done screwed up.
Starting this episode. Well, so there was a technical, about 2 minutes into the first attempt, we had a technical difficulty. And 20 seconds into the second attempt, Carl was like, whoa, it's F-Bomb City. So I was just like, okay, all right, here we are, Evil Dead. Carl's a fan of Evil Dead.
You didn't realize.
Which I didn't realize. Yeah. I thought that you were only a fan. Well, for a while I took the stance of Carl's only a fan of the goofy sort of Evil Dead, when Evil Dead got satire and got stupid and got... But ultimately, it did that with the second install. Like, there's more of that Evil Dead than there is horror Evil Dead.
That is the cult classic that it's known for. That is what has given it its notoriety. Yeah.
Which is exciting to me because, as you alluded to in intro attempt number 1, there's apparently a musical.
Yeah.
Which I was unaware of, but I also wasn't aware that you had seen the first Evil Dead, which this movie is sort of a sequel to.
Yeah.
Like a direct sequel to, like, it ignores the goofiness.
Yeah.
And is a direct sequel to that one. And what's interesting and fun about it, I have not, and I don't know how to work this in because I haven't, like, it doesn't really work with our series because I have to have seen a film and then show it to you and then blah, blah, blah. But you've already talked, you alluded to how you're like, oh, so you've seen Evil Dead 1, but you haven't seen Evil Dead 2. And I was like, yeah, I've only seen Evil Dead 1 and this one.
Right.
And so you're like, well, I think I know what rabbit trail we're going on. And I was like, oh, interesting. Which then kind of, like, there was a movie that came out like 2 years ago, maybe, called Evil Dead Rise, which is the sequel to this one, sort of the finale of the trilogy of horror Evil Deads,
right?
Circling around the 3rd book. And so I'm like, okay, well, look, if you and I have both seen Evil Dead 1,
you're
going to show me all the goofy ones, and now we've just watched this one. I'm like, at some point, we got to end this. We got to,
for long-time listeners of this show and like the overall Movie Men podcast, when we did the movie news, we reviewed the trailer for it.
Yes,
and I was a big nope on the trailer.
Like, nope. But now that you've seen this one,
if
you could probably watch.
if the vibe and the intensity of that one lines up with this, yeah, sure, I'm down.
Because that was a lot. Like when you saw that trailer and you were like, "Huh, nope," that was a lot of horror ago for you.
Well, not only that,
you're a different guy.
This is maybe we just jump into first impressions after we do an introduction here.
But yes, trailers are typically cut to be like the trailer for this one that we just watched it's a scarier trailer. Like it's a scary trailer because it's cut together with a certain intensity to make you kind of. Anyways, hello and welcome to the Movie Men Podcast.
We are the B team.
And yes, it may seem a little strange that we're reviewing this movie because this episode is coming out just into November. It may seem odd that we're reviewing this movie because I kind of told Carl I was going to back off on the whole horror thing. Yeah. However, it was my pick. Yeah. We record on Thursdays.
Yeah.
For the most part. It was my pick this week.
Yeah.
And recording day fell on October 31st.
For another 15, 20 minutes, it still is.
All Hallows Eve.
Yeah.
And so I was like, I mean...
You gotta.
What am I going to do? What are we going to do? Sit and watch a Johnny Cash biopic tonight? Like, that's not... No. We gotta get a little...
Gotta get a little spooky.
Spooky.
Yeah.
Yeah. So that's Carl.
And over there is Brady.
And this is just like a... This is a Rubik's Cube of intros. Of episode starts. Initial impressions.
Jump right in.
Okay.
You go first.
Yes. This is my second time seeing it. I avoided this movie for many years because many years ago I had seen the trailer, and much like you were with the Evil Dead Rise, I was a hard nope. In fact, I would show people the Red Band trailer as a, like, you don't even need to see the movie. You want to be freaked? You want to not sleep tonight? Watch the trailer, right? And so I wasn't going to happen. Then, and this, I guess, should be admitted, we've already reviewed this movie on the podcast. It was episode like 100, and it's like...
You and Pete did.
No, Pete wasn't even in it. We had sort of a friend of the show who was... like a quasi horror expert.
Okay.
That we brought in for a couple of episodes.
I'm trying to remember if I listened to it.
I think he reviewed.
I might have.
He reviewed the first Nightmare on Elm Street with Pete and I. And then there was one week where I wanted to do a scary movie. Pete wasn't all over it. And I was like, well, why don't we get Jordan back on the show? And Jordan and I can review Evil Dead. So we did that. However, I thought it was worth revisiting because that was a number. It was like 3 years ago. I don't remember the episode. I don't know what score I gave it. My score today could be entirely different.
That would be interesting to jump back and listen.
But so, anyways, initial impression. It was the first time I watched it. It was a really, really, really uncomfortable watch for me. Didn't scare me, but just made me like. It was the way I explained it to people was it's not scary, but it's pretty upsetting.
It's uncomfortable.
Yeah. Well, I would tell people it's upsetting. Like I watched the movie and I was upset.
Yeah. It's not Conjuring horror. It's more like body horror.
And so
with a little sprinkle of Conjuring.
It was really upsetting for me. And I kind of at the time said, well, I don't ever need to watch this again. But then it just kind of, I don't know, the stars aligned and it kind of made sense to revisit it.
We watched a Bruce Campbell movie last week.
Whose initial impression is this? And so anyways, it's still an uncomfortable watch. It's not like there's a couple of moments where I wince and kind of like half look at the screen.
Yeah.
Not as bad, I think, for me this time. Like I think maybe the memory of it being uncomfortable kind of got a little hyped up in my head. But I think that this movie sets out with a very specific and intentional goal, which is to make you uncomfortable, to creep you out. And in that sense, I think it has for my sensibilities, has a pretty damn near flawless execution of that. Like it, you know, you say what you will about this movie, and I know there's a lot of like old school hardcore Evil Dead fans that shit all over this movie because they're like, oh, stupid remake, you know, blah blah blah. If I were going to give credit to this movie for anything, it is that in terms of gross, grotesque, creepy, spine-chilling, it goes balls to the wall. Like it knows what it wants, and it takes the shot of adrenaline that it needs, and it just sprints the marathon. So yeah, I think what it tries to do, it does really well. What is your initial thoughts of this movie?
It's been a while since I watched the original Evil Dead. Been a while. Where does that come from?
It's a song, but I don't.
There's a few like there's do you ever heard of the Critical Role, the voice actors who play D&D that live stream it?
Nope.
They always do that. Somebody says that phrase, and then everyone else around the table is like, been a while.
It's a song by Stained.
Yeah.
By American rock band Stained.
Been a while. And I have a pretty good memory of movies that I've watched, and this one definitely feels like it takes the intensity up a notch. Like, definitely. Like, I feel pretty foggy on the details of the first Evil Dead, but I definitely didn't feel. I know for sure I didn't feel as uncomfortable as I did watching that.
Because first Evil Dead is.
That being said,
it
felt like Evil Dead.
81.
And I kind of enjoyed it. I did enjoy it. Yeah.
The first Evil Dead,
that'd be my first
although iconic and good, being extremely low budget and being a horror film in the early 80s, has a thick layer of campiness.
Yeah.
Sort of, you know.
Well, it's practically a student film.
Yeah. Yeah, it is.
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay. Evil Dead.
Yeah.
What
let's get into it.
Just talk, man. Tell me.
Get into it.
Tell me what you think. I mean, I've already done a whole episode on the podcast.
There was a dog
where I talk about this. There was a dog.
I don't remember a dog in any of the Evil Deads. Maybe in Army of Darkness, but
well, and again, so that's the thing, right? Is this is not a remake. It's a reboot in that it's rebooting the franchise, right? Kind of jump-starting it again.
Yeah. A retake.
But it is meant to be
reboot.
It is meant to exist in the same continuity where all of the events of the 1981 film did happen.
Yeah.
32 years ago.
Yeah. This individual, the lead male and female actors in this, their family bought or inherited this probably, and after
and I don't know.
Ash or something
I don't
like
know
that.
if it's this. So okay, so that's a good question, and I feel like maybe some of the meat of this episode is going to be researching answers to these questions. Is it meant to be the same cabin? Because it's not the same book.
No,
this is the sister. It's a sister book. There's three books
it's
of
very,
evil.
Unless they're doing like a new take on the Necronomicon. The Necronomicon is made from human skin, but there is a very visible face on the cover.
Right. How is Evil Dead connected?
And they never
to Evil Dead.
I don't think they ever say the name of this book, which I'm pretty sure they do in the originals.
I think the professor
there's a
reads it out loud.
In the original, there's for those who are our young listeners, back in the day, we used to have this thing called a cassette, and you could put it in this little player, and sometimes you could record yourself talking on the cassette. So there was a cassette player there, and Ash plays, or somebody, in the first one, there's a whole cast, just like in this one. And the second one is just Ash and his girlfriend, or fiance.
So apparently Evil Dead Rise, which is the final one,
okay,
is not. It seems like it's one of those confusing things where, vengeful demons, blah blah blah. While it is the first movie in the franchise since 2013, Evil Dead Rise is not a direct sequel to Evil Dead. Disappointingly, Evil Dead never received a follow-up with Jane Levy's Mia. Despite talks about a future crossover film between Mia and Ash Williams. Still, there were hopes that Evil Dead Rise would integrate Mia and Ash into Beth's story, whether that be blah, 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 functions as a standalone film within the Sam Raimi horror franchise, but still acts as a loose sequel to the past 4 movies. So
they're being loosey-goosey with their connections.
Movie timeline and canon. The Prime Evil Dead continuity. Okay, here we go. So, non-canon. I really should have researched this.
Yeah, this makes great audio content.
Yeah, you talk.
I don't know. What do I talk about here? So this is definitely not a sequel to the second one, because as I said, the second one is just Ash Williams and his girlfriend. This one, the first one is a bunch of college kids going to a cottage. If they're connected, I would say that this kind of takes place several years later, and a different family has purchased the cabin, even though there's all this crap happened. And apparently somebody else got possessed in between those two periods, right? Because right at the beginning, we see a bunch of unknown characters cleansing the demon with fire in the basement. A bunch of hillbillies. So there's like sequentially there's a bunch of stuff has happened.
Did you know that there's a shit ton of Evil Dead comics?
Oh yeah.
And graphic novels.
I've never read any of them.
Did you know there's one that came out in 2019?
Yeah.
Called Army of Darkness Baba Hotep.
What?
Yeah, there's a
that would be freaking awesome.
I
could see them being in the same universe.
Yeah, there's a crossover.
So it's not Ash Williams fighting the Army of Darkness. It's Baba Hotep.
I haven't.
It's Elvis.
Yeah.
That's awesome.
But that's still
that's so great.
Oh, it was a whole. There was a run. There's several issues.
Oh, that's cool.
In the Army of Darkness,
6-part miniseries.
Baba Hotep.
That's awesome.
There's video games.
Yeah.
There's all this stuff. I'm trying to see.
It's a huge cult following. Like huge cult following.
So the original prime timeline.
There's a TV show that takes place after Army of Darkness. So like a direct follow-up to Army of Darkness. I think it's got 2 or 3 seasons. I've seen the first one. and I enjoyed that. That was a lot of fun. And then there's the play, the stage production, which really fun thing about the stage production. If you bought seats in like the first 5 rows, you had to sign a waiver because the first 5 rows were a splash zone.
Oh, really?
You're gonna get blood on you if you're in the first 5 rows.
So there is 3 different timelines in the Evil Dead franchise.
Okay.
There is the Prime timeline, which is the Evil Dead 2,
okay,
Army of Darkness,
yeah,
the 2013 Evil Dead, the one we just watched.
Okay.
Ash versus Evil Dead.
That's the miniseries TV
and
show.
Evil Dead Rise.
Right.
Then there's the Naturam Demonto horror timeline, which is the original, this one, and then Evil Dead Rise.
Okay, so like Chainsaw Order they're kind of...
Yeah, and then there's the probably the one that you're like all over, which is the what is it?
Necronomicon?
Necronomicon Ex Mortis timeline, which is Evil Dead 2, Army of Darkness, and Ash versus Evil Dead. Which is kind of your, like, that's the pool
that's the bread
that you
and butter
like to
that
swim
most
in.
people like, yeah.
Yeah. So, okay, interesting. It seems like it's still, like, it's all loosely, you know.
You know what I would have loved to see?
Yeah.
Would have been great is if 2013 this film comes out, 2014, let's say 2015, they come out with what did they call that? The third 2013 it was just Evil Dead, right?
Yeah.
They should have made another. They should have made Evil Dead 2. Just done the whole script again, but with
that'd be amazing.
Slapsticky comedic bits in there.
So apparently, Evil Dead 2, the Evil Dead timeline was convoluted way before Army of Darkness.
Yeah, well, from 1 to 2.
Raimi wasn't able to actually reacquire the rights.
Yeah.
We had kind of talked
about
this
during the Bubba Hotep.
Reacquire the rights to The Evil Dead for a prospective sequel. As a result, Evil Dead 2 was made as a requel, essentially remaking The Evil Dead with new people and expanding the plot. The first 5 minutes of Evil Dead 2 is a remake. The first 5 minutes of Evil Dead 2 is a remake, shot as a recap with different actors, except Bruce Campbell, who reprised his role as Ash Williams. Ash Williams was born in 1957, and in 1981, he and his friends traveled to Nobi Cabin. There, they found the Necronomicon.
Sure.
Ex Mortis, revealed in Ash vs. Evil Dead to be written by Ruby. The Evil Dead, the first one, ends with Ash getting attacked and presumably murdered by an unseen entity. Evil Dead 2 builds from that moment, revealing how Ash survived and introduces other characters like Ash, Linda, and Annie. Annie reads various incantations from the Necronomicon and ends up opening a time vortex to banish the demon. Ash is sucked into the vortex and brought to 1300 AD, where Army of Darkness begins. Okay, yeah. I don't know anything about that. Yeah. I'm not going to read further. But it sounds like it is intended to, like...
It's intended to be sloppily connected.
Yeah, that Evil Dead 2 is sort of a sequel to Evil Dead.
And Yeah.
Evil Dead, the one we just watched, is considered canon in the Evil Dead timeline. The director stated that it continues the first movie, but is in a modern setting. According to the director, the coincidences between his version and the original 1981 version are deliberate dark fates created by the Necronomicon. As such, when Maya and her friends arrive at the Nobi cabin, okay, so same cabin, certain things such as Ash's rusting car are apparent. So the car that's sitting there rusting when they arrive is Bruce Campbell's car.
Yeah, I did notice that. I picked up on that.
The biggest difference is that Mia's parents are apparently the current owners of the cabin. Similar events transpire throughout The Evil Dead, as in the original, detailing gruesome conflicts with the deities. Although Evil Dead isn't all that connected to the rest of the franchise, it does share a setting with the original. Ash Williams makes an appearance in a post-credit scene of Evil Dead, which confirms that the universes are connected. Campbell and Raimi have both teased a crossover with Ash and Mia, that would further establish this connection. The Evil Dead remake links to the original in a number of ways, so it'd be interesting to see how Mia's connection continues.
Yeah, and Sam Raimi has writing credits to this movie. So how much, there's two other writers involved, how much of that is kind of like tip of the hat nod to Sam Raimi, and or Sam Raimi's in the room helping them craft it.
Right.
Who knows? But
the fifth movie in the franchise, Evil Dead Rise, is far less directly connected to Ash. The film follows Beth as she struggles to protect her nephew and nieces from their mother, Ellie, who has turned into a Deadite?
Yeah, that's correct.
The plot is set in motion after the teenage Danny discovers the book in the bowels of a building that summons demonic flesh-possessing demons, blah, blah, blah. This book seems to be one of the 3 Necronomicons that were seen in Army of Darkness. The second of which...
I forgot there was more than one.
The second of which appeared in 2013's Evil Dead. The film appears to be set in present day. So it is. It's kind of all connected and building off.
I forgot about that.
Yeah. So what you just saw...
So much other crazy stuff happens in...
Yeah. So what you just saw is a link...
to me in Army of Darkness.
Is a link to Army of Darkness. Books. Right? Because it's revealed there are 3.
Yeah.
And obviously up until this point, what you've seen a lot is of the one, right? Yeah. The first movie and presumably second movie are about the one book.
Yeah.
You just saw something about the second book.
The one with the butt skin.
And then the third movie that we'll watch at some point is about that third book from Army of Darkness.
Yeah.
Okay, there.
Cool.
Done. Yeah.
Yeah.
It's a gross movie.
Yeah. One of the most disturbing things about this movie happens pretty early, and then the kind of...
The vaginal possession?
Yeah. That was some like hentai tentacle porn nonsense.
Yeah, I don't know why.
That was really weird. I was expecting it to kind of like wrap up her and go in the mouth.
Why?
But that was freaky.
Evil Dead.
That was maybe like if they're looking to set the tone of the film, that scene does a really good job of making you feel uncomfortable.
Yeah. And so I don't remember, but I guess nothing like that happens in the first one.
Yeah.
Yeah. So I don't know why that happens. That's the thing.
No. Yeah, there are like a lot of overlap in terms of like kind of story beats that happen in the first one that happen in this one. So like the original person who gets possessed getting locked in the cellar.
Right.
That's story beat from Evil Dead 1 and 2. Person getting their hand kind of possessed and cutting it off to kind of stave off possession. That's a story beat from 1 and 2.
I know, which is a very Ash Williams, like that's Ash's moment.
Yeah.
Right. And so like, obviously when Ash does it, presumably, again, I haven't seen Evil Dead 2. obviously when that happens to him in Evil Dead 2, it's a much more comedic, funny thing.
So Evil Dead 2 has comedic moments.
Right.
Like, but I won't spoil it. I'll just say that it has more comedic moments. But it also has kind of like, you've seen Evil Dead 1. It's got a lot of those same kind of, and same with this one, kind of those same kind of creepy vibes to it too.
Right.
Like, but then there's there's levity in the humor.
Is Evil Dead 2 like? Do they remain graphic? Are they? Yeah.
Oh yeah. There's lots of blood and like there's as much, if not more, blood and gore than the first one because they take the blood and gore up a little bit for comedic values in some places.
In terms of blood and gore, though, this movie is like, and this is a wild thing to say, but there are moments where I feel like this movie gives the Saw franchise a run for its money.
Oh, yeah. The cutting the tongue bit,
splitting the tongue. I
had to look away from that.
The girl, I mean, even just like the burns from the scorching hot shower. It's graphic.
Yeah.
And you know what? There was one moment where I went, ooh, that effect didn't age well, which is when we see the establishing shot of the demonic, of the deadite or whatever in the woods, and you see that like vine first come out of her
mouth. When it first drops.
It's a little janky CGI.
Yeah, it doesn't even look like a vine. It looks like some kind of fleshy.
Yeah, but then
that's what I thought it was until it starts moving along. And I'm like, is that what came out of her mouth?
Yeah. Then it switches to a practical effect, it's much better. And I would say that's the only moment where you're like, where you don't buy it, right? Everything else in this is so practical. It's so well done.
Yeah.
There is something to be said. As gross as it is, there is a really, every so often you'll see something where you're just like, oh, that's a poster, right? The Last Jedi, right? I know nobody's favorite Star Wars film, but the shot of the Tree of Knowledge burning and you just see the silhouette of Luke and Yoda sitting there with the flames, and you're like, oh, that's a poster. Like, that's beautiful. The ending of this film, when the sky is raining blood and everything is just drenched in this red, and then you have Maya, like, taking the chainsaw and ramming it through the head, and there's just like more like they bought all the fake blood in America to shoot this scene.
Yeah,
it's a beautiful shot.
Yeah,
like it's something to see.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Oh man, there are a few moments. I mean, so Bruce Campbell. Ash Williams, Evil Dead 1 and 2. They don't hold a candle to the kind of the shock of this one does.
Oh sure,
because the practical effects,
graphic and
practical effects have come a long way, right? So a lot of the practical effects don't hold up.
I can tell that's not a real arm type of thing.
Yeah. Some of them are still pretty cool, but you can tell that they're using some kind of practical effect. It doesn't hold water anymore, even though they're great to watch.
Yeah.
But there are this one, in that one at least, when something happens, like he gets his hand cut off. How he cuts his hand off is believable. What he does afterwards, minus retrofitting a chainsaw to attach to his stub, is believable. Like how he bandages it up and stuff.
Yeah.
How he fixes it. There's a lot of like unbelievable stuff that happens in this where like
there's a lot of duct tape in this
The first
movie.
aid in this makes me go, that guy's gonna bleed out and die in 3 minutes. And then he comes in to the cabin drinking water.
Yeah.
and carrying what was he carrying?
Kerosene or whatever.
Carrying gas. Yeah, and it's like how is he not like he got stabbed with glass pretty deep, and then they pull it out, and you've taken first aid. I have to take first aid, keep my first aid up to date. So I take it every 2 or 3 years, whatever the requirement is. And like
leave it in.
The first thing they teach you about being stabs or any kind of puncture wounds, don't take the thing out.
Yeah, but I mean that's every movie they
take that out and blood starts coming out. Okay, they take it out. Fine, whatever. But then he proceeds to put I'll be generous by saying 2-inch by 2-inch piece of gauze over the wound
and
putting 2 pieces of duct tape. And it's like that is not applying pressure.
No,
that guy is dead.
And I don't.
And it's like, and then all the stuff that happened, like the guy with the glasses, all the stuff that happens to him, he should have been dead every time something happens to him, and he kept going. And was just a lot of that stuff just felt, getting the girl who cut her hand off, she used an electric kitchen knife, like that people use to carve turkeys on turkey carving holidays.
A carver,
right? Which is essentially just 2 bread knives going back and forth.
Yeah.
Cutting through flesh, okay, maybe if it's a brand new thing. Cutting through bone, never. That thing is never going to cut through bone. Like,
I don't know. The next time I carve a turkey, I kind of want to test it out.
It was, yeah, I don't know. So there was a few things in this that made me kind of go, pulled me out of the experience.
I don't, listen, I won't scoff at their first aid techniques in the sense that they're in a dilapidated cabin and
they don't have a lot.
That's probably what they have. But I do agree that the survivability, like the feats that are pulled off by some of these individuals, when I'm like, oh, sweetheart, you've bled out.
Yeah.
Like you're done.
Yeah. And they're not like, when they're not possessed, they're still.
When they're possessed, it's like, well, the gloves are off, right?
Yeah.
Sky's the limit.
Yeah.
Shoot
yourself in the head with a nail gun. Fine.
Yeah, you're gonna be fine.
Make yourself look like Hellraiser.
We do follow the ever popular movie trope where there is no such thing as a nail gun safety.
Yeah.
Right. So
you don't have to pull the thing back; it just fires.
If you don't, well, no, but it's not even that. So if you don't know, so it is. We're talking about the same thing, but nail guns and those, like any sort of pressurized nail or staple firing thing, the way those operate is there's like a safety sheath that if it's on the end of the nozzle where the nail comes out. So if you're not depressing that, if you're not pushing that nozzle up against wood, it's not you can't just fire it willy-nilly. Yeah. Unless, I mean, you could make modifications to it and rig it.
You could reach up and pull that back with your hands or just easily fire it.
Or remove it if you knew what you were doing.
Yeah.
But that's clearly not what's happened here. She's just gone out to the woodshed and grabbed the nail gun.
Yeah.
So, I mean, yes, that's an issue, but it's an issue with every movie with a nail gun. Yeah. And so I don't know if you can I don't know if it's worthy of demerit points because it's just following the rules of Hollywood.
I guess.
Right. Yeah, there's
Hollywood nail gun trope.
You know what the cringiest thing to me is, though? It's not the tongue. Like, the tongue is bad. That really freaks me out. That whole tongue thing.
Give me a kiss, baby.
Her slicing her tongue and all of the graphicness of that is shown in the Red Band trailer.
Oh, really?
Yeah, and so that's why, I saw stuff like that, and I'm like, it is, I don't know.
Body horror, no thank you!
But the ones that almost get me more than anything else is at the end of the film in the shed when the machete is coming through the shelf, cutting, like clipping her leg,
right,
and then sort of slowly pulling back out.
Oh, yeah.
Because everything else is like a pain that I can't wrap my head around, right? I don't know, like the multiple nail guns through the hand into the chest, that's all awful. Sawing your own arm off, blah, blah, blah. That's sort of more in the realm of typical body horror.
Right.
It's on the menu for typical body horror stuff. Whereas there's something just so visceral and almost
especially the first time when she gets hit, the blade pulls back slowly.
Real slow. And it's like you can almost feel that one. Because you're like, that would really hurt.
I felt it, yeah.
Yeah. So those ones, and then when it gets her in the arm again later, those almost get me more than anything else, just because they're a little more grounded, right? Everything else is like so over the top and gruesome that you're like, the other one that maybe is like when the girl comes in and she's swinging the box cutter and catches David in the arm.
Oh, okay.
And puts a good slice in his arm. You're like, that's obviously a sensation I've never felt, but that's a sensation that I can wrap my head around.
I've cut the tip off my thumb with a box, like a good chunk, like that
hurts. I bet it hurt.
Yeah, it hurt a lot. I was in a crawl space, like a 1 foot, maybe 2 foot crawl space.
You gotta get yourself out of there first.
I was like, I just I was putting vapor barrier. The guy who employed me wanted me to put it was an old farmhouse, and he wanted me to put vapor barrier on the joist boards underneath the house.
Yeah.
And not on the floor for some reason. I don't know. Or on the dirt ground. I don't know. Anyway, I was cutting the vapor barrier and I cut my finger, but I had tape on me. So I just taped it up and kept working.
Yeah. So, yeah. I don't know, man.
But it hurt like the bugger.
What I will say is, watching this movie, having seen the original, watching this movie, even knowing that the final one is really loosely connected, but the fact that it's still about the third of 3 books, watching this one today has got me going like, okay, yeah, like I'm in the world now and I want to see some world building.
Yeah.
Like,
show me more.
Which is fascinating to me because, like I said, my original stance on this film was God, no, never again.
Yeah. Yeah. I don't think I would, if I were to classify this, I don't even think I'd call this a body horror. I think this is more monster horror. Like Friday the 13th, Jason.
Sort of. I mean, there's a lot of gore.
Well, so is there in Friday the 13th and Chainsaw Massacre, which I've only seen a little bit of.
Friday the 13th is a slasher.
It's still, slasher's still a genre of horror, I would say. Yeah.
No, I know, but you're saying it's monster horror.
But Jason's a monster.
He's a dude. He's a guy.
Well, he's a demonic guy. He's some kind of demon-possessed guy that keeps coming back from the dead.
Yeah, well, aren't we all?
Which I would, maybe I'm making a new classification by calling it monster horror. But I think that fits best because you're dealing with a visible entity. So like Conjuring, outside of the bad, which one was it Annabelle, or which one was the one that showed the demon? Was like
yeah, Annabelle.
It was Annabelle. Yeah, outside of that one, like you're dealing with an unknown danger.
So
this one, because you see kind of the deadites, and there's kind of like you start easily making connections about somebody the deadite kind of physically damages without a weapon,
right,
becomes a deadite.
So on IMDb,
you end up becoming the monster, like a zombie. Zombies are a monster flick.
So On IMDb, this film has 4 genre classifications.
Okay.
It has horror.
Sure.
Which is described as the horror genre features stories that aim to elicit fear, suspense, and a sense of dread in its audience. Horror stories often explore themes related to the unknown, the supernatural, and the macabre. They frequently invoke strong emotional reactions such as anxiety, terror, or unease. So, yep, I would say this one fits. The second classification it has is zombie horror.
Yeah.
Zombie horror subgenre features zombies,
yeah.
reanimated corpses. As central figures of fear and terror, the subgenre often explores themes of survival, societal breakdown, and can serve as a metaphor for societal anxieties, consumerism, conformity, and the dehumanizing effects of mass culture. I mean, that later stuff, it doesn't really...
Yeah.
But reanimated corpses, it hits.
So like, the idea of what a deadite is delved into in depth in Army of Darkness.
Classification 3. Teen horror.
Okay, yeah.
The teen horror subgenre features young protagonists facing various forms of terror and supernatural threats. These stories are typically targeted towards a young adult audience and revolve around the traditional experiences and challenges of teenagers as they confront paranormal occurrences, monsters, killers, and other horror elements. 3 for 3.
Sure. Which one are we looking at here? The one we watched? Or?
Yeah, the one we just watched. And the final one, the one we're reviewing, the title of the episode. Yeah. The final one, final classification, is splatter horror.
Okay.
The splatter horror subgenre features extreme and graphic depictions of violence, gore, and bloodshed, showcasing visceral and shocking visual effects. Splatter stories are known for their over-the-top and often exaggerated scenes of bodily mutilation, dismemberment, and other gruesome forms of violence.
Yeah.
So it's like it's a splatter zombie horror.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. With teens.
So using that, I'm not far off calling it a monster horror.
No. Yeah, with that you're sort of hitting the zombie.
Yeah.
The zombie thing, and then
the horror thing at the same time.
And aside from like body horror, this is Saw is maybe more body horror because Saw.
Psychological body horror.
Saw actually has a lot less blood in it than this movie does.
No, it thrives on like the psychological edge of somebody having to do something physically damaging to themselves.
Yeah. Whereas this was just the over the top gruesome kind of thing. Yeah. Anything you didn't like?
Well, I mentioned some of the first aid, take me out of it, that kind of stuff. What else wouldn't I like? I think that would be the most egregious thing. I'd say outside of that, I did enjoy kind of the rest of the film. A lot of those nods to the original, like the bridge being washed out or the road being washed out. That was
cliche.
It's a nod to the originals.
Yeah.
Right? The originals do this great shot of them crossing this rickety old bridge without guardrails that just barely is only wide enough for one car. And the shot is just kind of this really beautiful shot the way they do it. And then as they're running away, they're running away. The bridge is destroyed.
Yeah.
Instead of being washed out. So those little things are nice nods, right?
Well,
the car, the double barrel sawed off shotgun.
Yeah.
Right. As soon as that showed up, I was just like, oh, I know what that is.
Well, what I think
chainsaw.
What it does is it sets up or maintains.
Oh, I remember one thing that I really didn't like too.
It maintains world rules.
Yeah.
Right. It maintains that this is how whatever is being summoned by these books.
There are constants.
Yes, right. That it's you look at the book and the same thing's happening to this girl that happened to the girl that you see at the beginning of the film.
What does Marvel called them? They called it in Deadpool and Wolverine. They called Wolverine a.
He's a an anchor being.
Yeah, they're like anchor points.
Sort of, yeah, but it's just like
these things have to exist or happen.
Well, this is how this demonic thing operates, right? This is the ritual. This is then once all these things happen, then the sky will rain blood, and then
Yeah.
What else did you not like?
The teacher.
Oh, okay.
What a freaking idiot.
I mean,
okay, so in the first two,
villain here.
In the first two, Ash doesn't know anything about what he's doing. In terms of, if I remember right, he doesn't technically even summon the evil. By playing the tape, the evil is summoned because the words are spoken on the tape.
Right.
And then he has to kind of learn and figure out that, okay, these are the things I have to do to stop it. So it's not even really his fault, right? He finds the book, he finds the tape. He's like, what the hell is going on here? But he's just kind of stumbling.
Right.
This character makes a conscious choice to open a book made of what's potentially he doesn't know, but it's made of some kind of skin. It is human skin, but he doesn't know that. But it's a creepy ass book. There's obviously it was in a basement surrounded by dead hanging cats and a charred pole that something was burned on, and it was on a table wrapped in plastic and barbed wire. And he makes a choice to cut it open the book, and there are very strict warnings in the book. Don't read, don't write it, don't say it out loud. The words that are told not to be said are scribbled out so they're illegible, and he makes this genius decision to, I'll do that old trick with the pencil to decipher what was written here originally and read it as I say it, even though the book says don't do it.
Yeah, and he doesn't.
All signs point to this bad, don't do, and he does it anyway.
Yeah,
what a moron.
Because he doesn't. He doesn't come across as, like, it'd be one thing if you were like, well, yeah, but he's an academic and he's clearly a skeptic, and he doesn't buy into any of this. Well, or that he's just like, it's just, it's all nonsense. So like, there's no harm will come from reading this because it's just a bunch of paranoid, superstitious people that have written these warnings. Right. But he doesn't come across as that because he's the first one when one of the other girls is like, well, it's some kind of voodoo shit. What's
with the cats? No, this is some kind of witchcraft.
And he's like, oh, it's not voodoo, because like he's the first one to point out the difference between voodoo and witchcraft.
Yeah.
Right? So he's
got some kind of back knowledge.
Because he's clearly studied, like in teacher's college or whatever, he clearly majored in
supernatural.
Latin. Well, no, he majored in Latin.
Yeah.
And then from that, like, sort of a sub-study of Latin could be ancient rituals and the lore around witchcraft and demonic, whatever.
Sure.
So he whether he believes it or not initially, he certainly knows enough about what he's got in his hands, right? Like that this has got all the markings. If this stuff is real, this has all the markings of being at least semi-legit. and maybe potentially dangerous.
Oh yeah. And I mean, even if you're curious, like he's barely flipped through the book. He obviously speaks some kind of Latin. He's barely flipped through the book, and the first thing he decides to do is decipher the page that says "Don't read or write these words."
Right.
Like, why don't we flip through the rest of the book? See why? Because the rest of the book doesn't have these like isn't scribbled out. Like, let me see what is this book about? Oh, something comes out of demon. Oh, this is. Maybe I shouldn't read these words.
Did you know the original Evil Dead is like that? This started as a 1978 short film.
A short film?
So Sam Raimi directed.
I knew it was a passion project that both him and Bruce Campbell worked on.
Yeah, so he did. There's a 1978, so it came out 3 years before the movie. 32-minute long, $1,600 budget. So no budget.
I wonder if I've seen this.
Starring Bruce Campbell. Like Bruce Campbell's in it. As a guy named Bruce. Yeah, interesting.
Wait, he plays a guy named Bruce?
Yeah, they're just like self-named. Untitled. Apparently there's a sixth and a seventh film greenlit.
It wasn't called Evil Dead. It was called Within the Woods.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, it was called Within the Woods.
Yeah. So the Wikipedia entry says, Within the Woods is a 1978 horror short film written by Sam Raimi, written and directed by Sam Raimi. Raimi drew inspiration from his earlier short film, Clockwork, deciding to produce a proof of concept horror film to help build the interest of potential investors. Raimi cast his friend Bruce Campbell and Ellen Sandweiss as the two protagonists and produced the film for 1600, shot on location in a remote cabin in the woods. Production was a difficult process because of low budget. Several of the special effects presented in the film were done in severely low budget manner. Some of which were improvised on set. The film centers around a demonic possession and mysterious forces originating from the woods. Within the Woods. Oh man, look at that! Did you see that? The cover art?
Yeah.
Oh man, that's sweet. Raimi convinced a local theater manager to screen the film alongside the Rocky Horror Picture Show, which sparked minor interest. Initially a meager success, the film screened well to a test audience and inspired a large budget remake directed by Raimi called The Evil Dead in 1981.
Which also only, like, The Evil Dead was made with only a $375,000 budget.
So Within the Woods is essentially a pilot.
Yeah. And so I'm curious, so Evil Dead was made with a $375,000 budget. Evil Dead 2 was made with a 3.5. So he had some
yeah. Budget went way up.
Yeah, well, because people had seen, he was able to get
there's something there.
Able to get what's the word I'm looking, investors.
Yeah.
Right.
Which is why he made the short film.
Yeah. All right. Cool. You ready?
I think so.
Okay. I'll go first.
You have to go first.
My score might surprise you.
Okay.
I'm going to give it an 8 out of 10.
Oh.
It's still, like, I still don't need to see it again. Right? It's not a fun watch. I don't necessarily enjoy the movie. But again, and yes, there are some issues. There are some like, okay, we're getting far-fetched here now, which certainly hurts the score. But like I said, they you make a movie like this with a singular goal, which is to make people uneasy, creep them out, cause stomachs to turn a little bit, and it hits that with almost every swing. And so to me, that's, it's like, do I like the story of this comedy? I don't know. Did it make me laugh? Yeah, I was on the floor having trouble breathing.
Right.
Then it gets a good score because it's done what it was supposed to do.
I don't know if I agree with that premise. Like, if the movie is a bore the whole time, but at one moment it does its job properly, that doesn't make it a good movie or a good...
No, but I think this...
barring your premise...
Agreed.
It doesn't make it a good comedy or a good movie.
Agreed. But this movie isn't this movie isn't an easy watch, but at one moment makes me uncomfortable. It makes me uncomfortable throughout the full film. Mm-hmm. Like even the opening scene when the guy's like burning his daughter alive and then blows her head off. I'm like, okay, I'm already, here we go. Right? Like, so I don't know. I think it's well done. I think you care about the characters. You care about this girl who is there at the cabin. There's some animosity between her and her brother. Wow, she has some animosity towards him because he's been a little distant. Probably
there's a little more character building up to the chaos.
Yeah, you care about these people. Yeah, not all of them. Some people like the blonde girl with the nail gun. She really doesn't get any. She's just kind of there.
Time. Yeah.
But definitely David and his sister Mia. You're like, okay, I'm invested in these people. Sort of bizarre that like, and then the movie does a little bit of a twist, right? Because you're like, okay, well she's screwed.
You
and
think
he's going to be the sole survivor, and he's not. Also worth saying, the one thing. I'm not even bothered by the janky first aid stuff because I'm like, well, whatever. It's a horror film. Like they're supposed that's you're just gonna have people hemorrhaging blood and continuing to fight. Like that's what this is.
Okay.
But the making a defibrillator from a car battery and 2 syringes thing.
Yeah, and then stabbing it into the person. That would work. I'm not a doctor or a nurse, but that feels like it would damage the heart some. I don't know. I mean, this is kind of like the Nicolas Cage The Rock incident where he stabs himself in the heart to keep himself.
I think at this point, this girl's gone through she's endured as much damage as she can endure.
Did we ask Pete about being stabbed in the heart with a needle if somebody would survive when we reviewed The Rock? I can't remember.
No.
Is that a plausible thing? Pete, you need to reach out. I know you listen.
All right.
You need to reach out to it. No, don't Google it. Pete
I'm giving it an 8.
Okay. Yeah, like that feels like an implausible thing to be stabbed in the heart by a single needle, let alone 2, and survive.
All right.
Implausible. I said plausible.
Whatever.
Yeah.
So I gave it an 8.
You gave it an 8.
What give you it?
So yeah, the story overall, I think, is well written. They have a plausible premise for going to the cabin, besides just kind of being there to party or celebrate being together, which is essentially the premise of the other one. But I don't think the premise is all like the point is they're there, right? I think the character development with the characters, all the characters, save for the girlfriend, is good, and it does kind of do the job that character development is supposed to do. You do kind of care about some of these characters a little bit, or hate on them a little bit more because they're stupid and are reading books they shouldn't be reading. But yeah. But then there's a lot of little things. They are kind of little things, like the first aid stuff. They're not major, but it happens enough that I'm constantly being kind of pulled out of it and going, what? No, there's no way that would work.
Right.
Which it's gotta hurt it for me.
Sure. Yeah, that's fair.
I would have liked to give it an 8. Like, barring if those things didn't exist, if I was never pulled out of this film because of some of those stupid things that I had mentioned, I probably would have given it an 8.
Yep.
So I'm gonna dock it a point. I'll just give it a 7.
A 7. Okay.
Because I did enjoy it. I did like, I loved all the little nods to the franchise from what came before. In terms of, like, if we're going to call this a sequel,
yeah,
I think it did a good job of, like, a reboot sequel. So, right? It's yeah.
I'm a little surprised because I thought showing you this film was going to tank my score. I thought, like, okay, I'm just throwing caution to the wind, and I'm gonna take a hit, and then I got some
you
climbing to do.
Underestimate my love of Evil Dead.
So I gave it an 8, which took my opinion of my films from a 7.2 to a 7.2. But it did bump my overall score for my films from a 6.9 to a 7.
Yeah, we're from here out, because we're getting such a large.
It's going to move slower.
Yeah, the numbers aren't going to vary as quickly as
unless
they did.
Unless someone gets like a 1 or something. Your score of a 7.
Yeah.
Took your opinion of my films from a 6.8 to a 6.8. No, 6.7 to a 6.8. Bumped it up 1 point. A 0.1.
0.1.
And then, but I'm still just at a 7 overall. Which means we'll do the proper rundown here, just because we're at the, we're equal now. We've showed each other equal number of films. My overall opinion of my films is a 7.2. Your overall opinion of my films is a 6.8. Your overall opinion of your films is a 7.5. So you're 0.3.
I like my films more than you like your films.
A little bit.
Just a tiny bit.
A little bit. But my overall opinion of your films is a 6, which means you like my films much better than I like. Well, not much better, but considerably, almost. You like my films 8% more than I like your films.
They've averaged out more in your favor. Yeah.
And my overall score is a 7. Your overall score is a 6.7. So by 3%, I have better taste in movies so far. Which is bizarre to me because I've just shown you a shit ton of horror.
Yeah.
But you've shown me some weird stuff.
Yeah, I've showed you some weird stuff. And I'm going to continue, like, spoiler. Now that we watched Bubba Hotep last week, we've watched an Evil Dead reboot remake. We're gonna go down a Bruce Campbell rabbit trail for a little while,
which is interesting.
For my picks, I think,
because it bumped Last Action, because Last Action Hero was going to be next week, but then which would have taken my score down one way or another, because I don't. Do I show my hand? I've already kind of shown my hand. I'll just say I don't think I would rate it as high as you think I would rate it. Oh,
even
interesting.
though I have a very high opinion of it.
Oh, interesting. Because I feel like I would really like it.
Yeah.
But I don't really know anything about it, right? It's just like Arnold Schwarzenegger comedy, I think.
Yeah.
Yeah, which is always
action comedy.
Is always a great.
I've watched a few what do you call them?
Breakdowns,
essays, kind of video essays on it, and kind of the making of it, and the kind of cinematography and story and all that kind of stuff, breakdowns on it.
Yeah.
And the film's production was a hot mess.
A hot mess.
But we're not going that way. We're gonna go Bruce Campbell before we go that way.
All right. What'd you watch this week?
Oh shoot! Did I write it down? I didn't. Okay. One Piece.
Okay. Yep.
Continuing that journey.
Yep.
Oh man, Whole Cake Island is a long arc, but it's fun. I watched 2 movies.
Okay.
Both with my boys, I think. Yeah, my wife was away last weekend. All weekend.
Boys weekend.
And my daughter was away at a sleepover from Friday till late Saturday.
She's like, if mom's not here, I don't know. We stuck with dad and my brothers.
It was a birthday party.
Oh, okay.
So she was invited to a birthday party. Anyway, so Friday night, I thought, well, let Laverne wanted to watch a dinosaur film.
As he does.
As he does. Is one of the things he likes right now, dinosaurs. And I got a funny, after I tell you what I watched, I got a funny story about Laverne. Anyway, we watched The Good Dinosaur. Is that what it's called? Good Dinosaur?
Oh, the Pixar one?
Yeah.
Is it garbage? People seem to say it is among the worst, if not the worst, Pixar trash.
It is. It's all right.
Okay.
It's not
top tier Pixar.
It's not great. It's not. I don't think. I think bottom tier Pixar even has good moments.
Cars 3.
Oh, yeah. Cars 2 is worse than Cars 3.
Okay.
I've
only seen Cars 1.
In my opinion, you watch Cars 1, you skip 2, you watch 3.
Does it work though? There's no like.
Oh yeah.
Oh, what's happening?
No. It would work seamlessly.
Okay.
Yeah. Oh, definitely. There's very little carryover from 2 to 3.
Toy Story 4.
I don't think I've seen Toy Story 4. Is that the one where? That's the one where Woody leaves.
Yeah.
Yeah, I haven't seen that one yet.
Yeah. Don't say yet. Just don't see it.
Don't go see it. It doesn't exist. It was all right. Like the whole premise of the film is like the first shot of the film is an asteroid barreling towards Earth.
Yeah.
And then dinosaurs look up.
It's an alternate timeline.
Misses. Yeah. And dinosaurs become intelligent and humans are Neanderthals still. It's fun. Like it's all right.
Yeah. Okay.
My 3-year-old enjoyed it.
Wow, that's a high bar.
And then Saturday night, we watched a film you have reviewed with Pete on the podcast.
Ooh, Cats?
Onward.
Yeah, garbage.
Yeah,
movie.
You guys are dumb. That movie is amazing.
No, it's
gold. It is so good.
Here's so good. Here's what we talked about, because you should go back and re-listen to the review of it. If I recall correctly, I don't think it's a bad movie. Pete and I made some really powerful suggestions for improvements, like things that would have made it deeper and better. All that aside, not necessarily a horrible film, not a good Pixar film.
I disagree.
Feels like it could be Illumination or DreamWorks or Sony Animation. Like, kind of has that, but doesn't have that like sort of trademark. This feels like Pixar.
I disagree.
Okay.
Because I remember listening to your episode.
Yeah.
And one of the reasons I picked to watch it with
you're like, let's see how bad this is.
Well, no, because I remember because I watched it before you guys reviewed it, and I thought it was amazing. Right. And so rewatching it this time, I was like, oh, I'll show my boys this. I really enjoy it. I'm sure they'll enjoy it. I mean, he's gonna watch whatever I put on. But I kind of went into it this time going, okay, be objective, right? Like take
maybe I missed something that the boys picked up on.
What are they talking about, right?
Yeah.
So back to when I listened to the podcast episode.
Yeah.
I was like shouting at you guys in my car, whatever I was doing. I was like, because your initial impression was like you didn't understand what was going on. You're just like, I don't.
Was it?
Yeah, it was like, I don't get it. This is supposed to be.
I mean, we didn't do initial impressions back then, but
yeah, but like, and I'm. It's been a while since I didn't listen to the episode recently.
Right, you
but
should.
Vaguely, I remember you saying something to the effect of, "You don't understand the world, the premise of the world." Right, where it's like a high fantasy world, magic exists, but the convenience of electricity, combustion engines, modern technology makes magic not necessary, because magic takes work and effort and practice, and it's hard, and flicking a light switch is easy.
Really? I said that? I'd have to go back and listen.
That is a feeling I remember, because when you were kind of started talking about the film, I was like, how do you not get this? This is what it is.
Right.
And the whole film, like, it's all about two boys who, one of them vaguely knew his father, because his father died when he was like 3 or 4.
Yeah.
And his little brother never got to know him because he died when he was his mom was still pregnant with him.
Yeah.
And the boys happen to end up getting a magic staff and casting a spell that would bring their dad back for 24 hours. But halfway through the spell, the spell stops because the younger brother, who happens to have the ability to use magic, doesn't know how to use it because nobody does. Right. And the spell goes and stops. And you have half of a dad from the waist down.
Right, the waist down.
Right? So there's this beautiful journey that they go on, because older brother is like this, essentially a D&D nut, but D&D is based on historical, in their world, the D&D is based on historical accurate things, because D&D is high fantasy. This is a high fantasy world.
Yeah.
Right? So using they don't call it D&D, but using his D&D knowledge, they're able to track down the stuff that they need to track down to finish the spell. And the whole thing is just, if you like high fantasy or D&D, the whole thing is like a love letter to anybody that enjoys that.
But what
then
makes it Pixar?
The heartwarming story of these boys getting to know their father, who can't talk, who only has his legs to kind of communicate, but he can, because of magic, he can still kind of sense or hear what's going on. Like, there's a great moment where there's tension between the boys, and the dad brings levity to the situation by dancing.
Okay, I'll tell you what. We got to wrap this up, but I'll tell you what.
Anyway,
here's the deal.
It's a great film. I love it. Last thing I'll say is, like, I got super misty-eyed in the final scenes, because I was just like, I'm so attached to the characters in the moment.
So we have a week before we sit down and record again. In that week, listen to the review again.
Okay.
And I'll watch Onward.
Okay. Deal.
And we'll come back and
you'll revisit this quickly.
I'm guessing what will happen is we will both come back and both of us will have a little bit of give. Both of us will come back. I'll come back and be like, it was a little bit hard on it. And you'll come back and be like, yeah, I listened, and you know what? I still like it. I still think you guys are nuts. But I can see, this and this. Right? But we'll see.
I don't know if I'll have any give, because I don't remember having any give the first time.
And that's fine.
But
and that's fine.
Anyway, what did you watch?
Well, you
just
those
the
two films.
Just the two and some TV.
I watched Morehouse. And then I watched like the first 15 minutes of Hereditary, which is supposed to be this like super upsetting horror film.
Oh, okay.
I watched the first 15 minutes.
Was this like a Halloween thing you were?
It's just Brienne and I, let's watch a scary movie.
Yeah.
I watched the first 15 minutes, and then due to a little too much wine, I fell asleep and made Brienne watch it by herself.
I'm sure she loved that.
But I did that like, do you ever, if you fall asleep during a movie, does this happen to you? You fall asleep during a movie but you have this like pride about falling asleep during a movie or something where like, you know, your wife will be like, "Are you awake?" And you go, "Yeah, I'm awake." You know what I mean? Where you're like hiding the fact that you're sleeping through this movie.
Last time I slept through a movie.
Oh. I don't do it often.
TV shows. Like, I'll often, like,
yeah.
If I'm up, because my wife goes to bed a lot earlier than I do. I'm a bit of a night owl.
Yeah, I'm in the same.
So, like, sometimes I'll watch One Piece in the evening after she goes to bed. And sometimes I start to, like, nod off, and I'm like, crap. Okay, I'm going to rewatch that episode next time. I'm going to go to bed.
Yeah.
Right? I don't know if I've ever done that with movies. I probably have
or
done
a
it
show,
with movies.
A show. It's fine show too, but like you're watching a show with your wife and you're dozing off. Maybe the show was even your idea, right? But you're dozing off for whatever reason, you know, low on sleep, whatever. And then they're like, "Are you awake?" And you go, "Yeah, I'm awake." Almost in this like I'm almost angry at you for, of course I'm awake. No? Is that just me?
Maybe. I don't know.
Because here's the thing. Anytime I'm asleep, anytime I'm sleeping through a movie, I seem to have this incredible superpower where I can be asleep during a show or a movie and wake up with just enough time to, like, in the course of 3 seconds, grasp what's happening and answer whoever's asking me if I'm awake and be like, "Yeah, she just said that. Yes, I of course I heard that. She just said this thing to him and this guy's upset about it." And then I go, "Okay."
You're not in like a deep sleep, so
no.
you're kind of picking up.
No. And so I'm really good at that for whatever reason. And anytime I'm asked, I am reactionarily a compulsive liar. Like I would like, it's not even like I'm waking up and then making this conscious decision of like, you know what, just be on. And I always feel bad about it afterwards. And I was like, I should just tell her that I dozed off, you know, blah, blah, blah. I don't know what happened. But I wake up and without even like having the time to put the thought into, just tell her you're asleep. You're tired. Let's go to bed. I'm like, no, I'm not asleep. And I don't know why I do it. I need to like try to figure out how to untrain that. But
so you fell asleep during a movie.
Yeah. And I didn't
Was that bad?
Or
you just tired?
Her review of it was not positive. And she, like, so much so, like, it's supposed to be a really scary movie. No jump scares. Like that's not like it. That's well known. It's not a jump scare movie, but it's supposed to just be like an unsettling kind of thing. Not in the gory sense that Evil Dead was, but just in like a what's happening kind of way. Brienne just thought it was boring. She thought it was confusing and boring. And in her words, and this is rare for her to say, she said there were moments where I found myself wishing that the movie would start scaring me. Because I was like, this is stupid. This is a waste of my, like...
That's how I felt with Paranormal Activity.
It's not even delivering what it's supposed to deliver. Thank you so much for listening. Make sure you check out our Facebook, Instagram, and Twitter, all listed below. We have a Patreon page where you can support the show for less than a cup of coffee a month.
Or more.
Or more.
We'll take more.
Take more.
Yeah.
Yeah. Less than, either way, it is always less than a Big Mac meal a month.
Less than
always.
Your monthly rent.
Yeah. The highest tier of supporting us is a little more than half of what you're paying for Netflix.
There you go.
Every
Cancel
month.
Netflix.
Yeah, and support us.
Support us. You'll save money. And you'll still get to learn about movies without you don't have to go through the grueling effort of watching them.
Sure. Yeah. Yeah.
Just hear us talk about them.
And merch. It's not too late to order your merch and get it in time for the holidays.
Yeah.
And so if there's someone who you love a lot, but not enough to get them something really nice, buy them some of our merch.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. And
Great stocking stuffers.
Until next week, when apparently I thought, you know what? I thought to myself, okay, we're going to watch Evil Dead. And then you know what? We're gonna we'll have a couple of weeks of a biopic, a war film, a comedy, or whatever. And then we're gonna be like, in a really interesting stage where we go, you've never seen this Christmas movie, but apparently Halloween is continuing on through November.
We'll be done before Christmas.
Yeah,
we'll be done by the end of November. It's only 2 films.
You're not going to make me watch the show? Good.
Well, I mean, that's not part of what this
Agreed.
is.
Agreed. Done. Done. Agreed.